Now it's time for today's perspective on France 24. And today we're going to be meeting with an award-winning Iranian artist and cartoonist. Now he's also an activist who's lived here in Paris in exile since 2009. His cartoons were regularly appearing in various national and international media published here in France, as well as, just for one example, in the UK's Guardian newspaper. Fascinating personal story as well. We'll get into that in just a moment. But my guest is Kianoush Ramezani. Thanks very much for coming and talking to us today. Going to start off by looking at a couple of your cartoons, just to give people an idea of what they're like. Let's show the first one, and you can tell us what it is and why you drew it as you drew it. If we can bring it up, it's of the Eiffel Tower. Can we have a look at that one, and then we can talk about it? Can we have a look at the Eiffel Tower? Let's bring that picture up if we possibly can. Should be the next thing. There we are. There it goes. Tell us when you drew this and why.
Well, it was quite after the attacks, the terrorist attack that happened in November. It was after Charlie Hebdo attack, to be very precise, and in January, I drew it as an answer, as a response to the terrorists, because you know, when you have a mixture of some emotions of rage, anger, and sadness, which I believe that millions of people shared this feeling with me in that time. Then I had to find some symbols to release this feeling. So I did it in French. And maybe I approached myself to the morality or to the way of expression in Charlie Hebdo.
Kind of fun, slightly controversial as well, obviously.
Yes.
You like the controversy, no doubt.
Yes, I mean, actually, I'm learning how to provoke more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, and is that something you like doing then, to provoke?
If it guides people to think, if I can provoke people to think or to analyze something, yes, of course, I would love to use this power.
Let's have a look at another one. This is a self-portrait that you've done of yourself.
Yeah.
Why did you draw yourself like this?
Well, you know, it became a ritual for me. Every year in January, I try to make a wish, and this became a ritual among the cartoonists too. We start to exchange a bunch of cartoons to each other to say the New Year greetings, and in French it's meilleurs vœux, which means the best wishes for the New Year. And so my best wishes is like that, well, maybe I'm dreaming that one day I can send these bad guys to somewhere so far, so that the earth can relax a little bit.
And the bad guys, who are they?
They are representing the extremist Islam, which I'm also traumatized by them. I mean, as you can see, the symbols of the extremism are the terrorists, the mullahs, and this they're kind of visual symbols of what I call the extremism Islam.
And we mentioned that provocation, if you like. I mean, obviously that's going to provoke and annoy a lot of people, what you're drawing there. How do you get over that?
Well, I like when I see that some of my cartoons got some attention this way, which means when I receive some weird comments, let's say the hate comments or even threats, I think that cartoon did its job, because I'm aware of the consequences when I talk about the extremism, when I'm talking about the Islamists, and I know that it makes them angry. I know their codes, and when I'm trying to break them, I'm trying to just ridiculize them, to show them that no. It's not a time. We are in the 21st century. I mean, it's over. We shouldn't be afraid of them.
Why are you here in France in the first place?
Well, just because of this, because I couldn't do my job in Iran, and there were a lot of reasons, and still those reasons exist. I mean, despite all the pictures that media are giving about Iran, this openness, but it doesn't exist anymore. And we need to understand that we are under Islamic dictatorship. And of course, as a cartoonist, your job becomes a problem when you are facing with the Islamic dictatorship.
So how much intimidation were you facing then?
Well, first of all, you are ignored, and then you cannot work. No one is working with you. And afterwards, if you keep insisting your job, then you receive some threat. and in Iran, you receive the threat from another cartoonist, from, for example, the Iranian House of Cartoon, which is part of the propaganda. Those who are, for example, organizing the Holocaust cartoon contest, and I received that threat too. So then afterwards, then they can accuse you for whatever crime or whatever accusation, and then you end up in prison. At the moment that I'm talking to you, Kianoush Ramezani, an Iranian human rights activist who just went back to visit his mom who was sick, and now he's in prison for the 10th time in his life. Or Ramin Hossein Panahi, a Kurdish activist, political activist, just because of having a different ideology or opinion. He is also facing the death penalty right now.
And of course, Iran very much in the news at the moment as well. I mean, is that something that you've wanted to cover, the pulling out by the US of the Iran nuclear deal?
Well, I believe the whole circus, let's call it, it's a gift for the Iranian state, because they can really, again, they can hide their ugly part and they can just victimize themselves. And I believe Trump is giving the big gift to the Iranian state by giving them the reason to make more and more repression to the different opinions, to the activists inside. So my idea would be a little bit different about.
And just in a few seconds, something you're going to carry on doing? It's nothing that you're going to be forced or feel stopped doing?
No, nothing can stop me, because if I die, of course, I will be stopped physically, but I don't see any reason to stop myself.
Kianoush Ramezani, thanks very much for coming in talking to us today. Iranian cartoonist, award-winning cartoonist here on France 24. Thanks very much.